You know, I've had a little bit of a dilemma recently, and I figured that I'd share it with you. Perhaps you can relate to what I'm talking about. And how do I frame this? I promised that I was always going to be my very authentic self, and I look at these videos on YouTube that I share as like a diary session. So it's unfiltered, it's raw, it's unscripted, and this is just me pouring out my heart. So just bear with me. But by virtue of being a consultant, a coach, an entrepreneur for the last 2 decades, sometimes I don't know about you, but I do feel like I'm in a bit of a box with my marketing, with my messaging, with my positioning. So I have experience as a management consultant. I've done that for over 2 decades. I've been a coach for well over 15 years. I've repositioned my messaging and my marketing, particularly now that I'm based in the US. So I do a lot of work with SaaS founders, software as a service founders. I do that pretty much almost every day. And in curating my messaging and my positioning, I kind of feel like what I do, or I serve so many different audiences, but I feel constricted in a box. Because on one hand, while I do a lot of executive coaching and consulting, there's a part of me that really loves helping single women position to find their man. There's a part of me that is very strong in financial discipline. Heck, I've written a book about it. It's called Honey, Where Are We Poor? You can check it out on Amazon. And there's a real strong part of me that is very faith based, kingdom driven, where I want to share a lot of things from the Bible. And sometimes going against contrary opinion, which I understand that simply says you must have one audience, one message, one offer, it kind of feels like it doesn't fully encapsulate who I am. And so I've been struggling with that because I don't have one audience. I speak to entrepreneurs, I speak to founders, I speak to corporations, I speak to women, I speak on money, I coach on faith. So I don't have one audience, I don't have one offer. And I was watching something by, I can't remember his name, but I follow him on YouTube, which sucks. I'll find his name and put it in the description. But he was talking about something that really resonated with me. He was talking about building a mission based niche, right? So, generally, as you understand, your niche is the subset of the market you want to focus on. So, for example, let's say you're a relationship coach and you can serve everyone, but a niche suggests that, for example, you want to serve divorcees. That's a niche. So you don't want to serve premarital or married. You want to serve divorcees. That's a niche. Or you want to serve, single women or mature singles, as an example. That's a niche, right? But he talked about the fact that a mission-based niche, which is really interesting, is much more about your mission. Your mission determines your message. Let me put it that way, right? Your mission determines your message. Because part of the challenge that I've had recently was, what part shouldn't I talk about? How do I strip off the different parts of me so that I can focus, to be honest, on the audience that can pay me? Because this is what I do, right? And you go down a rabbit hole sometimes where you start looking at other entrepreneurs or thought leaders who you regard and respect, like the Alex Hormozis or the Myron Goldens or the Jeff Walkers and all these other amazing thought leaders who are out there, that sometimes you pattern or model their frameworks, not necessarily their frameworks, but just pretty much who they are, because they've got like a really large audience and they're out there. So you're like, you know what, maybe I need to strip myself and dumb myself down, not dumb myself down, but just strip myself of all the heavy things, because it doesn't go in the direction of conventional wisdom that says focus on your niche, one message, one audience, one offer. But in thinking about it, man, I don't know, I think that I'm going in the opposite direction. And I've decided to chase my happiness. Because, sometimes I think your intention matters. I think how you show up, and to be honest, there is a part of me that is transactional. I want to show up and add value because ultimately I'll find the people who resonate with my message, upsell them to something great, add value, transform their lives and businesses. But thinking about that has just been so confusing because I've had to ask myself, what should I let go of so that I appear to the market as this guy who is this guy? But I think that robs me of my uniqueness. I think that robs me of my authenticity because have you ever struggled with that? Have you ever felt like you need to clone or become a clone of someone so that you can get the kind of results that you want? And I found that I've been dealing with that lately. And I've decided, like I said, to chase my happiness. What makes me happy? I'm going to talk about the things that make me happy. I'm not trying to, it's pretty hard, position myself in a certain light to attract a certain audience. I think that in being myself, those who resonate with what I say will ultimately come to me. Now, I know that sounds like very simple advice to give, but when you've helped clients earn millions of dollars through their businesses and you're seen in certain lights and you start feeling like this doesn't fit me anymore, I'm not happy doing this, or I'm no longer comfortable. So should I speak to the software and SaaS audience? Should I speak to the entrepreneurial audience? Should I speak to the relationship audience? Should I speak to the financial audience? Should I speak on the spiritual audience? And I feel so schizophrenic. So what I've decided to do is to chase my happiness. Talk about the things that make me happy. And with no agenda. For the last 2 weeks, I've been trying to figure out, okay, working on my position, and I've done that. This is what I do for organizations. I do this for myself. But I've decided that maybe the direction that God wants me to take now is allowing me to be my authentic self without having to fit into any conventional boxes that the world has. Maybe just being yourself is good enough. Maybe just being yourself is good enough. No agendas, no framing, no positioning, just being your honest, authentic self, and you might find a lot more people are asking you to help them do what you've done. I don't have the answers, but yeah, that is the video I have for today. So that's my diary session. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I don't have all those animations or visuals yet, but do me a favor, if you do watch this video, like, share, comment. I respond to every comment because I don't have a lot of comments at the moment, but yeah, I'd love to hear your comments and tell me, what do you think? Will you chase your happiness, or do you want to get sad doing what the world has millions of people already doing? Cool. Catch you later.